In the marble halls of Manhattan's most powerful family, 16-year-old Serafina Rothschild hasn't spoken a single word in 10 years. Not one. Doctors call it selective mutism. Psychiatrists blame trauma. But when 18-year-old Ezra Thompson, a poor black kid from the Bronx, walks through her mansion doors as her new companion, everything changes. "She's defective," Victoria Rothschild tells the social worker with disgust. 10 years of the world's best specialists, and nothing. Maybe someone from his background can reach her damaged mind. The staff whispers cruel jokes. What's next? Hiring janitors as therapists? But they don't see what Ezra sees in Serafina's eyes. Not emptiness, but terror. Not sickness, but secrets. Because some silences protect more than just feelings. Some silences protect lives. When Serafina finally speaks her first words in a decade, they'll expose a conspiracy so deadly that 2 fathers had to die to keep it buried. Ezra Thompson sleeps on a mattress on the floor of a Bronx apartment where cockroaches scurry past his head and gunshots echo through paper-thin walls. At 18, he's the man of the house. 3 younger siblings, a dying mother, and bills that never stop coming. His calloused hands tell the story. Dishwasher at dawn, security guard at night, whatever it takes to keep the lights on. "You got special skills, baby," his mother whispers from her hospital bed, cancer eating away at her body while they can't afford treatment. "You see things others don't. Always have, since you were small." She's right. Foster care taught Ezra to read faces like survival manuals. A twitch means violence coming. A certain smile means lies. A look away means danger. When you're a black kid bouncing between homes where some families see you as a paycheck and others see you as a threat, you learn to decode human emotions, or you don't survive. The social services office smells like desperation and broken dreams. Ms. Carter, a tired woman with kind eyes, slides a folder across her scratched desk. Companion position, rich family on the Upper East Side, $2,000 a week to babysit a girl who doesn't talk. "What's wrong with her?" Ezra asks, already calculating how many of his mother's medical bills that money could cover. Nothing, according to her stepmother. Everything, according to everyone else. The Rothschilds have tried every specialist in the world. Now they want to try unconventional methods. Ms. Carter doesn't say what they both understand. They want to try someone expendable. The Rothschild estate rises from Fifth Avenue like a monument to old money and older secrets. 30 rooms, 12 bathrooms, and staff who move like ghosts through halls lined with paintings worth more than Ezra's neighborhood. Victoria Rothschild greets him at the service entrance, not the front door, never the front door for people like him. "You'll address me as Mrs. Rothschild," she says, looking at him like he's something unpleasant she stepped in. "You'll use the service elevator, you'll eat in the kitchen with the other help, and you will not, under any circumstances, fill that girl's head with ideas above her station. She's damaged enough without your influence." The word influence drips with so much contempt that Ezra's jaw clenches. But he thinks of his mother's medical bills and swallows his pride. Head butler Harrison, a thin man with dead eyes, leads Ezra through a maze of marble corridors. "The girl sits in her room all day drawing pictures that make no sense," he explains with obvious distaste. "Sometimes she has episodes, screaming fits, but no words. 10 years of that nonsense. Her stepmother's patience is wearing thin." "What happened to her real mother?" Ezra asks. Harrison's steps falter slightly. "Dead. Long time ago. Natural causes." The lie sits heavy in the air between them. Serafina's room could house Ezra's entire family. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlook Central Park, but heavy curtains keep the sunlight out. She sits at an antique desk, hunched over a sketch pad, her blonde hair falling like a curtain around her face. When Ezra enters, she doesn't look up, but her pencil stops moving. "Hey," he says softly, the way he used to talk to scared kids in foster care. "I'm Ezra." No response. But her shoulders tense, and Ezra notices something the fancy doctors probably missed. She's not drawing randomly. Every line is deliberate, purposeful. The sketch shows shadowy figures around what looks like a man falling, but the perspective is wrong, like a child's memory of something terrible. "Do you mind if I sit?" He doesn't wait for permission, settling cross-legged on the Persian rug. "I used to draw too when I couldn't find words. Sometimes pictures say things voices can't." For the first time, Serafina glances at him. Her eyes are blue like winter sky, but they hold something that makes Ezra's street-sharpened instincts scream danger. She's not broken. She's terrified. And in that split second of connection, Ezra understands why every specialist has failed. They've been trying to fix someone who isn't sick. They've been trying to heal someone who's been protecting herself the only way she knows how. Serafina returns to her drawing, but something has changed. The pencil moves differently now, more urgently, as if his presence has awakened something that's been sleeping for 10 years. The racism starts immediately, dripping like poison through every interaction. At breakfast, cook Maria Rodriguez sets a plate in the kitchen corner while the other staff eat at the main table. "That's your spot," Harrison announces with a thin smile. "We maintain order in this house." When Ezra reaches for orange juice from the main pitcher, Harrison's hand stops him. Staff juice is in the refrigerator, different container. The message is clear. Even among servants, there's hierarchy, and black boys from the Bronx rank at the bottom. The cruelty escalates during Victoria's dinner party. Manhattan's elite fill the dining room, their laughter echoing off crystal and silver while Ezra serves appetizers. Victoria's voice cuts through the conversation like a blade. "Our latest experiment," she announces to her guests, gesturing at Ezra with her wineglass. "They breed them tough in the ghetto, don't they? Street instincts where civilization failed. Perhaps what our precious daughter needs isn't another Harvard psychiatrist, but something more primitive." The guests laugh, the sound sharp and ugly. Senator Morrison, a fat man with dead eyes, grins wide. "Brilliant, Victoria. Sometimes you need a junkyard dog to reach a rabid animal." "Careful, though," Judge Hartwell adds between sips of $1,000 wine. "You know how they are. Give them an inch, they'll steal everything that isn't nailed down." Ezra's hands shake as he refills water glasses. Every instinct screams at him to speak, to defend himself, to shatter their comfortable racism with words that would cut deep. But his mother's face appears in his mind, pale, weak, fighting cancer they can't afford to treat. He swallows the rage and keeps serving. Upstairs, Serafina sits at her window, watching the dinner party through the glass. Her pencil moves frantically across her pad, sketching the same shadowy figures over and over. When she sees Ezra being humiliated, something flickers across her face, not pity, but recognition. She knows what it feels like to be powerless. The psychological warfare intensifies daily. Security guard Webb, a mountain of muscle with dead shark eyes, begins following Ezra everywhere. "Can't be too careful," he explains with a cold smile. "Your kind has a reputation." When Ezra asks for medical supplies to treat his mother, head housekeeper Mrs. Patterson shakes her head with mock sympathy. "Oh, honey, we can't have staff stealing medications. Insurance liability, you understand. Surely someone like you knows about creative ways to get what you need." The accusation hangs in the air like a noose. But the worst comes during Serafina's therapy session with Dr. Blackwood, Manhattan's most expensive psychiatrist. Victoria insists Ezra observe to learn proper techniques, but really to watch him be put in his place. "The subject shows no improvement," Dr. Blackwood announces, studying Serafina like a lab specimen. 10 years of selective mutism following parental trauma. Classic case of a privileged child unable to cope with loss. Serafina sits motionless, but Ezra notices her hands clenched white-knuckle tight in her lap. She's not catatonic. She's controlling herself with enormous effort. "Perhaps," Victoria suggests sweetly, "our young friend here could share his expertise. Surely growing up around violence gives him insight into traumatized